Joining me now is Kris Moutinho, who's coming off a big win at Combat Zone over the weekend. Went viral once again. It's something that I think you're probably used to at this point. Kris got a big fan base online. I guess, how are you feeling coming out of another victory? You've tied together a nice little win streak after you left the UFC, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling good. A little bruised up, a little banged up, a little bit of rug burn, as you can see, all over my face. But it's better that I won. You know what I mean? It would suck to feel like this off a loss. So you know what I mean? It's just glad to keep the train going and see where I go next.
Yeah, and were you pretty happy with the performance overall?
Not really. It got better as the fight went on, but again, I kind of started off a little slower than I would have liked, and kind of got put onto the back foot and got thrown around a little bit, and then I had to work my way back. But there was a lot of other stuff behind the scenes going on. I started a job and all this stuff. My mind wasn't 100% in it, so it is what it is. The I'm proud that I kept my head in there and got where I needed to get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess there's so much MMA these days, right? And I don't fault people for this, but I think there's a lot of fans that kind of follow the UFC. Maybe they'll follow PFL, a couple of the other major organizations, but they may not be up to speed with what you've been up to since you left the UFC. And you've put together a four-fight win streak, four finishes. Can you talk to me about that a little bit? Like, how was your mind when you left the promotion, and how have you been able to kind of turn it into something, hop right back on the horse and get all these wins?
I've talked about this a little bit, man. My brain, my mind, everything, my life at the time of me in the UFC and right when I got out, I wanted to kill myself. You know what I mean? My life was ready to. I was ready to end it. I was ready to be over. I was done with fighting. I was in my head and everything, and I didn't want to do it. So I was in the worst place I could possibly be, and it had nothing to do with my team or my coaches or anything at the time, but it took me a long time of just training, being there, working, finding the right people, meeting the girl I'm with now, and just getting myself back to loving training again, loving fighting, loving what I do, and yeah, man, it took a long time, but now I'm the best I've ever been. You know what I mean? This is where I should have been when I was in the UFC. You know what I mean? My skills are better, my my just understanding of what I need to do while I'm fighting, and just the level of comfortability that I have right now when I'm in the cage and in war. You know what I mean? So this is the best me that has ever been, and I don't even think about the fans anymore when it comes to what they think about my fighting or my ability. You know what I mean? That was something that was really dwelling on me back then too. Was everybody had to say about me and how what they thought about me. But I'm just a free man doing what I love to do now.
Yeah, and obviously it's you've had a bunch of results, but you kind of mentioned you said something like I wanted it to end. Was it like really a dark period? Like, do you mean like mental health wise, or do you
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
end your career? Or
and everything. Yeah, and everything. You know what I mean? And stuff. I was in a relationship with somebody else, and that was going bad. And then just everything else. The getting kicked out of the UFC, getting my ass kicked, doubting if I was even good at what I'm doing, and just being who just living that way, and listening to, again, I'm a very shy, introverted person. Like, I really realized right when I got to the UFC that this is not who I am. You know what I mean? This is not what I am. I'm not a fan. I don't want to be fan. I don't want all this attention all the time and all this other stuff. So it's like it was just hit me so hard, and everybody saying what they say and doing how they do. It took me a long time to just be comfortable with myself and know that I this is what I was born to do, and this is what I was meant to do, and it'll all if you follow the plan that God sets out, man, everything comes up, everything comes to fruition.
and you say you're kind of shy and introverted. Being thrown into a fight against Sean O'Malley, right, is kind of the opposite, probably, that somebody would want for their UFC debut. That's shy and
Yeah,
introverted. So, how much do you feel like the attention, the buzz, the fandom, the fighting on a main card on International Fight Week against one of the biggest stars in the UFC? I guess, do you feel like that kind of being thrown into a position of fame, if you want to call it that, did that somewhat play into everything? Do you think?
oh yeah, for sure. Like, again, if I had the normal run that everybody else had, to get into the UFC, it probably wouldn't have been as serious. You know what I mean? Again, you fight him, and you're obviously a household name, and especially the situation, the fight that we had was great. Whatever, cool. I got my ass kicked, but we put on a show, and it's just it made it a whole lot bigger than it would have been if I just went and got started in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Again, with that being said, it still gave me, even though I am who I am and the attention was a lot to deal with and stuff. I'm a lot better now. I'm a lot more understanding now. I understand how it is and where it is, but without that, I would not have all the opportunities I have now as well. So again, all things come on both sides. There's good and bad to everything, and I appreciate the opportunity that I got.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that. Do you feel like you've kind of come to terms with that loss at all? Like, it's forever probably going to be associated with you as people's first introduction to you, and you showed an incredible amount of toughness. You gained a ton of fans, so I don't think it's ever going to necessarily go away. But when you process it, are you at like kind of at peace with the way things played out?
Yeah, 100%. I'm at peace. I was at peace the minute the fight ended. You know what I mean? I don't really dwell. I don't cry over spilled milk. You know what I mean? The fight's over. I want to have my chance to go back in there and try to work my way back and prove to people that I'm much more than just a chin to get punched on. You know what I mean? I can take shots. I can give shots back. I can put on wars, and I want to work my way back to my chance to fight him again. You know what I mean? If I ever get that opportunity, man. But I fight in the best weight class. Probably in MMA, I believe. Throughout all the different promotions, like I fight at the best weight class, man. The depth of this weight class is crazy. So who knows, man? I fight the best guys, and I'm looking to try to beat them all.
And what kind of mental adjustments do you feel like you made? You talked about how you kind of surrounded yourself with good people now, and you've kind of got this positive attitude. You're back to the grind. You're getting success. But I guess what kind of switches do you feel like if you were to get another UFC opportunity, what kind of differences have you made in yourself going forward?
Just having more faith in myself and not putting as much pressure on it. I don't think about this sport as the way I did before. You know what I mean? I put so much pressure. I have to do this. I have to be this. I'm at the point in my life where much more. There's things much more important to me. I want to have a family. I want to do things. I have a beautiful girlfriend that I want to start have a real life with and stuff. So that stuff's way more important. If I don't make it in fighting, I don't make it in fighting. But again, now it's just free. I'm just gonna go until I don't want to do this anymore and go do something else. You know what I mean? That's life. I'm young enough that I can do something with my life if this doesn't work out.
Yeah, you're still only 31, so that's young in the UFC's eyes in certain divisions. I guess what kind of your aspirations in the fight game? I think I'd heard some rumblings maybe about the Ultimate Fighter last season for you, and it didn't really pan out. You've been fighting between two weight classes. Like, do you feel like Saturday's win will that be the one to get you in, or do you think you'll have to fight more? I guess what do you think the road is here?
Uh, and this is no start like shade to to the UFC or anything like that. I don't really care realistically if this gets me in or doesn't get me in. I think it should. Realistically, I've had four finishes. That was the longest fight I've had in my last four. You know, everybody else I took out in the before the middle of the second round. So I don't know. I don't know what else I have to do. I fought some guys, all different levels of guys with all different records. Guys with one of the guys was like 8-2, the other guys was 6-3. Then this guy didn't have a great record, but he's fought a bunch of really good guys and gave him good rounds. So it is what it is. I think I've proven what I need to do at all different weight classes I can fight. It's up to them at this point. The ball's in their corner. I'm just gonna keep fighting. If they don't take me, I'll go back. I'll get another fight. I'll try to do the same thing I did. That is my only goal right now in my head is to fight and finish. Whether I lose or I win, I'm going for a finish. I don't want these boring fights. I want to put on a show. Every time I get in the cage, I want everybody to remember it. Everybody's gonna look at me and they're gonna remember my name at the end of the day. And that's the only thing in my mind right now. I don't care. I'm not results oriented at this point. If I make it to the UFC, I make it to the UFC. If not, I'm just gonna keep fighting and put on a show.
So is there any feeling of like you need to redeem yourself from last time or anything like that, or is it just kind of you're happy fighting regardless?
Right now, I'm just happy fighting regardless. But yeah, I have an ego. I'm like any other young dude that got into the sport. I have an ego. I wanna show everybody what I truly am. And like I hear all this shit online, and see all these things, and people think don't even know that I've gotten better. Like they still talk about me from 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. The amount I've improved, and things I've learned, things I've done, the things I've changed. You don't even understand who I am. I'd kill that. I'd kill that man that fought 2 years ago. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna take it one day at a time, and get back in there as soon as I can, and put on another show.
I guess one thing you have working in your favor too is Sean O'Malley's stock has gone up. So I guess in certain ways your stock has gone up. Have you been surprised at what he's gone on to do since you guys fought? Bantamweight champion of the world, already has a title defense under his belt, or was that something that you, when you guys fought, you felt like you knew was going to happen someday?
Again, it's the best weight class in the world. You know what I mean? The best weight with the most depth throughout all the promotions. I didn't know that he was going to become a world champion, but I knew he was good. You know what I mean? Right when I moved with him, and his style, the way he moves, he's hard to track down. He's hard to keep down. His striking's really really good, and he can do everything, man. He's a complete fighter. I never I've never talked like he wasn't a great fighter. You see all these other guys in the UFC, and then they get starched by him. He's tough. He's talented. You can't discredit anybody in here, man. They're all killers, and got to show everybody the respect.
Is there some sort of confidence that comes with hanging in there with a guy that's the title holder too for you?
No, I just not any more than I already had before. You know what I mean? I know how good I am. You know what I mean? I know I can hang with these guys if I really need to. Right? If I really on a good night, on a bad night, I slip on a banana peel. I can lose to anybody, but it is what it is. I'm not a perfect fighter, and that's why I think a lot of people like me, like my style even more. You know what I mean? That's the same reason that people like guys like Max Holloway. Not because they're not great fighters, they're willing to risk it, and go in there and do things that are imperfect to look for finishes and look to get the fight going. And that's how I feel like my style is, man. I'll do stupid shit. My fight, I made so many mistakes. I walked around with my hands down, just trying to chase a guy down to get a finish. You know what I mean? But I don't care. This is my style. I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna try to finish it all times. I'll make mistakes. If you catch me, you catch me. If not, you're in for it. So this is the way it is. You know what I mean? I'm just here to put on the best shows possible.
One of the benefits from that fight too is you've seemed to maintain your fan base too. Like every time your face is on social media, I think ESPN posted about you yesterday. It had like 100,000 likes on the post. Had more than a post right next to it with Islam. So, do you still get hit up a lot? Do you still feel the love from all the fans online?
Yeah, for sure. I still get hit up, not nearly as much as when that like all that stuff craziness just happened, but yeah, I still do. The people are great. You know what I mean? Even with like me complaining and whining about all the jerks. There's so many great people, man. I've gotten so much love from the sport, and so much love from the fans, and I appreciate them with all my life, with all my heart. Even the guys that I'm complaining about saying this suck. You know what I mean? Without them, there is no sport. You know what I mean? I am nobody without them. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody's a fan of me. If you hate me too, thank you. Just keep tuning in, because I'm gonna keep smashing people's heads.
And you said you can only control what you can control. But what's the plan in the immediate? I think you fought at both bantamweight and featherweight since you left, right? So are you going to kind of bounce between the weight classes? Trying to take a fight soon? Guess what's the move right now?
I want to fight within the next couple months if I don't get a call up, and no, really shouldn't be fighting at 145. I felt that right away that dude was way bigger than me, way stronger than me. You know what I mean? I was just being fat and didn't want to cut weight. You know what I mean? I just started a new job. I work a night shift. So it's like getting the food diet down and understanding what times to eat and where to go was kind of messing me up. So, but I need to just get back to where I belong. I belong at 135. I'm a small 135 or so. I was definitely a very small 145 or so. Ah, man, just because I can do it doesn't mean I should.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, Kris, appreciate the time, man. Congrats on the win. You've been killing it, and look forward to seeing whatever's next from you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me, man. I really appreciate you guys.